Hey, so you can see I'm in my truck now. So we're going to talk a little bit about the leasing process today, and maybe a little bit touch on training. And so y'all hang on, watch the intro, and stay tuned. Well, hello everybody, this is Ardus with Cajun Couple Trucking. I'm looking forward to getting home and getting the better half of Cajun Couple Trucking in the truck with me. As I said in the intro, what we're talking about today, what we're really discussing today, and that little pinhole right there, is the leasing process. I wanted to cover this while I was doing it. I wanted to take you through everything, through what to check, how to check, when to take pictures and all that. And honestly, I was out in that 89-degree weather in Springfield. I was exhausted. Okay, so let's go through it real quick. I finished the training. In the classroom, I sent my email. Received a response within about 10 seconds saying, go to this link, get on the list. So I went to that link, got on the list. That night, I saw my name on the list as number 6 on the list. Now, they had already told us the day before when we went through the leasing stuff that the leasing information, that there were other people on the list that we couldn't see because they were into lease and stuff like that. So I was expecting that. Well, I saw the guy ahead of me get on at about 11:30, and he was assigned a truck, to go look at. And there was one last Freightliner left. So I'm looking for short-term lease Freightliner because it has more room and better availability on parts, as far as more room for 2 people, storage and all. Well, another name appeared. Wasn't on our list of waiting drivers, so I didn't worry. Another name appeared. Wasn't on our waiting list, and I'm thinking it's been over an hour now. So I went down to eat. I ate. And then I was thinking, if they don't have anything, if they haven't called me, by the time I'm finished eating, I'm going to go up to the leasing office and see what's going on. Then I saw another name, another driver code that wasn't on the list appear in the last Freightliner spot that I wanted to look at. He wound up not getting that Freightliner, but he was there, he wanted to look at it. Well, I was talking with a buddy who we met during PSD. We met at Springfield and we met in Pittston. And Jacob, if you're watching, man, hey. Then I told him, I said, look, I'm going to go up to the leasing office. Then my phone rang, it said Prime. I was like, yes. So I went through the list of the trucks because I had already looked at the list because they update the list at 11 o'clock every day or before 11. So I already been through the list and wrote down the truck numbers I wanted to look at. I went through, it was an international. And for you that are new to trucking, if you ever hear the phrase 13-letter crap spreader, that's what they're talking about. International started out as an implement company, moved up to tractors, then moved up to 18-wheelers. Anyway, so I went and looked at it. Guys, on the list of stuff that you're supposed to check has nothing to do with your pre-trip. All right, they want you to check physical damages. They want you to check, does this work, does that work? Nowhere in there is there check your brakes, check your tires, check, when you get, if you're going lease, when you get your truck that you're going to look at, don't even go to the leasing office. Go straight to the truck. They're going to tell you where it's at. Go straight to the truck. get in, pop the hood, and do your pre-trip. This International needed drums on all 4 of the drives, needed brake shoes on all 4 of the drives. It was metal to metal. There was grooves about this thick into the drums, all 4 of them. Then when I pulled the dipstick on the APU, it was about 1.25 inches too much oil on the dipstick. I started the truck, I drove it around. Good sound mechanical truck. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. But I went in, I said, okay, before I even look at it, these are the things I found on the pre-trip. And she said, that's gonna take about 2 days. Sorry, my reefer started up. It's gonna take about 2 days in the shop. I said, okay. And she said, well, on the phone you had mentioned that you wanted a Freightliner. Can I ask why? And so I told her my reasons for wanting a Freightliner. I want a short-term lease so that I can order my truck sooner and get a lease completion. I want the more storage space for me and my wife, because I am picking up my wife. She is riding with me. And the parts availability here is just better. And just to touch on this, guys, there was 20 people in my upgrade class. 18 of them wanted Freightliners, and all 18 of them, their reasoning for wanting a Freightliner was they're better on fuel mileage. They're not better on fuel mileage, people. And you get in a Freightliner and you think it is, they're not the best on fuel mileage. They're good on fuel mileage, but it's also the driver, condition of engine, condition of transmission, condition of axles and all that, but condition of bearings and all. But I digress there. I'm sorry. So she looked at me and she said, there's great reasons. I love that you're thinking ahead. We just had a Freightliner. I mean, she said right before you walked up, the body shop called and said that it's done. You can have people look at it. We weren't going to add it to the list till tomorrow. Would you like to look at it? She said the lease ends in April of next year. It's got 417,000 miles on it. I said, yes, I would love to look at it. So I had to walk all the way to Lot E. If anybody knows where Lot E is, it's back over there by the training pad. Just north of the, I think it's just north of the full trailer parking. So I found the truck, did my pre-trip, looked good. The brake shoes on the drives are a little over half worn. I had concern about that. So I walked in, I got the service printout for it, and this truck had been taken care of. So I drove it around a little bit. I liked it. Went in, got my paperwork. Now, told them I want the truck. So I get my paperwork for everything. And it's asking me scratch, dents, dings, did this work, did this work, did this work, did this work? Does the air horn work, does the city horn work? And then you're gonna put everything, like it's gonna say driver door, condition of the door, how are the seals, and then you're supposed to write dents, scratches, scuffs, paint chips, and all that. Then you take pictures of it. All right. It did have a little bit of damage on the truck. I mean, it is a 2020. Nice blue. At the end, I'm gonna try to put a picture up of my truck so y'all can see my truck, and if you see me. And by the way, I am so sorry. I met a couple who was there. It's just a blur at Springfield's just a blur to me right now. But I met a couple up there. They said they watched my channel. Thank you for watching my channel. I really wanted to spend some more time with y'all. I looked for y'all the next day because I was like in a fog, really. And I hope to catch y'all on the road again. For me being rude, I owe you dinner, both of you. And hopefully my wife will be with me, and we can all sit down and just have a nice dinner at a truck stop somewhere when we meet up. Or at Pittston, or at Springfield, or at Utah, Salt Lake City. Anyway, going back, I did give out my YouTube channel to several people there, and I hope y'all are watching and enjoying the channel. Going back though, you're gonna check everything. Now the mechanical things that they don't check, you still need to list. You list those brakes. I put on there that the brakes were over halfway worn. I went back in. Whenever I went back into Bay 47 to hand in my paperwork, I asked them flat out, what are we going to do about the brakes? Drums are good. Drive brakes are over half worn. They're by no means not going to pass DOT. First thing she said was, well, they taper at the ends. You got to measure the middle. I said, I did measure the middle. I was a mechanic for 20 years. So she looked up. She says, oh, well, we measured the lowest one at 18 millimeters. I said, right. I said, but new are 28 to 32 millimeters. Well, yeah, well, we measured the drives at 26. I said, I agree with that. We measured the first, we measured the steers at 26. I said, yeah, I agree with that. She said, we measured the first set of drives at 20. I said, I agree with that. She said, we measured the rear set of drives at 18. I said, I agree with that. What are we going to do? Because at 10, I'm no longer legal for DOT. They said, well, we don't change them till 12. I said, okay, here's my thing. I don't want an expensive brake job 2 or 3 months down the road when it could have been taken care of today. Now, I know. I drive right, I use my Jake brake, I do what I'm supposed to do, and barring anything, catastrophic happening, those brakes should not need to be changed till April of next year. I know that. But extenuating circumstances happen. Sometimes you hit the brakes, sometimes you run into something, some jack wagon could spray my brake linings, and with certain chemicals will make those brake linings start crumbling or wear faster. So, the same people that pull your pin and stuff. So, she told me, she says, we got this notated. She said, so when you need a brake job, we're going to prorate it. Told her, okay, can we get that in writing? She said, we'll add it to your truck notes. I said, okay, thank you. So, got my truck, signed my lease. There's many pages on that lease. I suggest you read it because there are some things that all through the lease stuff and all, they don't tell you, okay? It's not that they're trying to hide anything, because if they're trying to hide it, they bury it in the lease. But it's up front on the lease, so read everything. All right. Then I went to the company store. Now, once you don't even have to sign your lease. Once you're attached to the truck, once you look on your Prime app and it shows your truck's there, you can start hitting the company store, driver lineup, the parts room. You can't do outbound bay until you get there. But what you're going to want to get from the company store is your detention stamp, your pulp thermometer, if you're refrigerated, your alloy locks. You want to get the set, not just the lock, because you want the valve lock out, the big lock, and the little lock, okay? The air cuff lock. You get your Atlas. If you don't have a good set of jumper cables, they got these cheap things for $47. I would suggest going to Walmart, spending $60 on a good set. However, if you need jumper cables, get the jumper cables. Get an extra safety vest just in case. I grabbed one for my wife. Part of the stuff she's not supposed to know about yet, but okay. Gloves. If you don't have a set of gloves, grab them. If you do have a set of gloves, grab an optional set, Small set of tools. I suggest grabbing that set of tools. Yes, it's a little expensive. It's like $140, $160. But it's all the tools they request that you get in the pro maintenance class. And a glad hand air hose. Okay, I understand your trailer works off of the air tank. Okay, so those tires are going to fill to what they're supposed to. But if you get a low tire on your drives or on your steers, you just pull the glad hand off, and you pull the red one off, hook it up, come in here, apply air to your trailer. Now you got air in the hose. Now you can air up your tires. Okay, so that right there is going to cost you a little bit. I think it was like 200 something, 300 something. You get charged $25 a week until it's paid, unless you call and tell your fleet manager, hey, just take it all out the next one. All right. From your parts room, what they suggest is getting oil, antifreeze, and windshield wiper fluid. Okay, I went and got a gallon of oil, gallon of antifreeze. Windshield wiper fluid, at Prime, they use that cheap crap. I don't like that. I get the, and my wife would know it right off the top of her head. It's a bug wash, basically. And it has the stuff on the windshield that makes it beat up. Somebody else is going to post it in the comments, yeah. But that's what we get. We spend about $3 or $4 a gallon on that. And when this gets low, I'm going to stop at Walmart and grab 2 of them. They say spare engine belts and filters, okay? Look at, when you're doing a lease, look at that service printout. Ask for it. If it shows that they already replaced that, and you can verify that by looking at them, like mine, you shouldn't need it. Now in about 6 months, I'm going to go back and get belt and filters because they're cheaper at Prime, okay? And then spare fuses, marker lights, headlights, and glad hand seals. Glad hand seals are free. Grab them. Need them or not, grab them. Spare fuses, marker lights, and headlights. You're going to want, your spare fuses, you're going to want at least 2 marker lights and at least 2 headlights. Okay, guys? Then it says APU filters and belts. Again, check your service history. If the APU's been serviced, you won't need to get belts and filters. You will need to get belt and filters in about 4 to 6 months. Okay. Then at driver's lineup, they gave me an old list that says new comm data card. If you got your purple card, you got the right card. You need to get comm checks. You need to get trip sheets. You need the fuel book. Don't need. That's part of your permit book. Stuff like that. You need to go over to permits department and get your permit book. Then your paper log book, which you should have already gotten 2 of those, one in PSD and one in upgrade. Okay? If you haven't done it by now, sign up for your TWIC card and your passport. I talked with them. They said that they would check in to see about getting my wife's passport too. So I held off. I'm not going to order my passport until my wife's with me. Then in outbound, okay? Outbound, you need to get your load locks. You need to get your tire chains. You need to get your lumper receipts, which they have no idea what that is because lumpers, we don't need lumper receipts anymore. Door seals, and this is where you get your anti-gel in the winter. Okay, tire chains right now, we don't need them. We don't need them till like September, October, somewhere around there. And I want to get socks anyway because I don't plan on ever taking them out of the package. If we got a chain up, that's conditions you should be stopped. So I did not get the tire chains. Lumper receipts aren't anymore. I got my door seals. I didn't get my anti-gel because it's not cold enough for that. Load locks. I checked with security before I did this. A trainer told me to do this. He said go over to the empty trailer lot, start opening trailers, and grab you 2 to 4 load locks out of that because you only need 2 to be able to get out of outbound. They're free. Other drivers have just left them in there. Just go get them. I thought it was kind of shady. I didn't really want to, lose my job that I just got over that, something like that. So I asked security. Security's like, dude, they left them. Oh well, they left them. Go get them and use them. He said because whenever they do that trailer washout and they see them, he said all they're going to do is set them off the side. Then they put them back in outbound. Then they sell them back to the drivers. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So now, after that, if it's before 5 o'clock, you're ready to go. 5 p.m., 1,700 hours. Get with your fleet manager. Now, you cannot leave the yard legally until your contract goes from the not signed pending approval to the signed folder in your app. Once that happens, get in touch with your fleet manager, tell them, hey, I'm ready to go. And they'll get with driver lineup and see about getting you a ride, well, a load. Now, if your fleet manager says like mine did and said, I'm going to find you an empty to go pick up your load, if he says that and you don't have a text from him with a trailer number, night and weekend dispatch will not look for a trailer for you. You have to call driver lineup or the trailer shop. Me and another driver, we went get our trailers that are supposed to be ready according to driver lineup. Ready, I'm going to Craft, a mile down the road from Springfield Terminal. I'm going underground. I'm going there where the notes say trailer must get a washout from Prime 1. I open it up, pieces of pallets, onion peelings everywhere, and it smelled like onions in there. I mean, it's strong. You open the back of this reefer unit and your eyes watered up type smell of onion. So I'm supposed to be picking up my trailer, my drop-in hook at 2 a.m. They told me I'm going underground. They told me this and that, you know. So I run to where the washout is, and I asked them, hey, can y'all help me? It was trucks in both bays. So I ran to Millennium. I got me my breakfast and my lunch. Came, put it in my fridge, which later I'll give y'all a little tour of the fridge and my my little $45 a month unlimited internet, $99 modem. Well, anyway, I didn't even get out of there till almost 2 o'clock. Then it took a while to go through outbound, which, by the way, lease operators fill up everything because your fuel's free the first time. Okay. Then I headed to Craft, dropped it off, picked up my my load, and now I am about 200 miles from my drop, which is Kroger. Which anybody who's done Kroger and Walmart before, you know Walmart will let you deliver early, and they'll charge you like $600 for the convenience. Kroger pull up, they're gonna look at you and say, your appointment's tomorrow. We ain't letting you in. Come back about an hour early, hour or 2 hours early for your appointment. So I'm sitting here, I'm about 220 miles out. I'm in Colby, Kansas at the Petro, and so I'm going to head out at about 10 in the morning, get there about 2 hours early, because Denver is not that bad. It's not in Atlanta or Houston or San Francisco. It is, you know, I mean, it's bad, don't get me wrong, but it's not that bad. Now, I'm enjoying it. I love being in my truck. I can't wait to pick up my wife. The only gripe I got so far, and I put it on the list, my bunk speakers don't work at all. Muted, unmuted, all the way up, not a sound out of them. So I put that on there so that whenever I turn it in, they don't try to charge me for speakers. So anything that doesn't work, you know, put it on. Anything, a little puncture in your seat, take a picture, guys. I'm enjoying my load. I'll let y'all know how much this load is paying. They're trying to get me a better load out of the Denver area. They're trying to get me home, which is Louisiana. They said that they're going to get me a meat load out of the Denver area going to Houston, Texas, and then I would not bobtail, but I would deadhead home. At that point, depending on my finances, I'll figure if I'm staying just overnight or 3 days like I had planned. I'm hoping it's the 3 days, but We'll find out. I am going to continue to make videos every week. I'm going to try to do what I want to do is start another YouTube channel. That way it won't interfere with this one, and do daily devotionals in the morning every day. I was hoping to wait till my wife got with me though. That way we could put that YouTube channel on her phone and wouldn't have any worries. But later on, hopefully today, I'll give you a tour of the truck and how I've started to set it up. I'm not stupid. I am married. I've been married for 28 years. I am not going to be the one organizing this truck. I don't need to know where things are. My wife's going to do it, because whenever I look, I'm going to look over there and say, hey, I want an apple. Can you get me an apple? Because I'm going to be driving. And she's going to be the one packing the shower bag and all. So I don't really need to know where things are. She needs to be comfortable with where they are. So I'm going to let her do that. I will tell you though that my APU in this 90-degree weather has not been coming on very often. It's charging everything, doing everything great. I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'm going to try to put a picture of my truck on here at the end so that y'all can see it. I'm very proud of her. I'm going to be turning her in April of next year and getting me a new truck set up the way I want it. So that's great there, because we're really looking forward to a driver lounge in the back. That way we can fold up the bed and have a table we can sit at. Please like, subscribe, and comment. That helps with the algorithm. If you are planning on coming to trucking, you have any questions, give me a holler. Shoot me a text. Ask a question in comments. That all helps. And if you want, use my driver code. It'll help me out a lot. And anybody who uses my driver code, I'll make this verbal contract with you. If you have any questions, have any problems, contact me. I'll give you my cell phone number. When you contact me, if I don't know the answer, I'll get the answer and get back to you. Okay? I will get the answer and get back to you. We're going to go back through a few things. I'm going to redo my my how to stay awake at night. Little tips and tricks on how to stay awake, because a few people have sent me, hey, this is what I do, this is what I do, can you include it in it? And I want my wife to be able to record it so she can see the little things like moving your feet, what I'm talking about there and all. One extra thing I said at the beginning I may touch on, I got about 3 minutes in what I want. I want to try to keep my videos at 30 minutes. So this is what and I've said it before, and I'm going to continue preaching this. When you're going through training, I'm sorry, my reefer came back on. But when you're going through training, do not do yourself a disservice by not learning. All right? Yes, that trainer's there to teach you. But a lot of trainers are burned out. A lot of trainers are upset. A lot of trainers are tired of hearing, oh, just shut up and let me drive and get my 50,000 miles. I've talked with a lot of trainers, and this is the common thing that they say. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and they're all, well, why aren't we running as a team? I got to get 50,000 miles, right? I got to do this. I got to get this. And I want to get it as quick as I can so I can get my own truck. You're not interested in learning. They're tired of hearing and getting griped at and getting yelled at because you don't want to listen and you don't want to learn. All right? So don't say, my trainer didn't teach me. Because if you run into me, like I ran into someone at a local truck stop right out of Springfield. No, right out of Pittston. We stopped about 3 hours out of Pittston. And there was someone there, young lady, just had her lease signed like 3 days before, I want to say. And she was standing at the pump, just looking at the pump with this worried look on her face. She looked like she was about to start busting out crying. And I asked her what was going on. And her first thing out of her mouth was, my trainer didn't train me. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, I just signed my lease. And, it's the first time I'm filling up. She said, I had to have the guy run the yard dog back my tractor in because my trainer never taught me how to hook up. The guy in the yard dog taught me. I sat there and went through it with her and showed her how to do it, and I told her the system's gonna be different at different major chains. Here's how you do it. Then you do this. You put your slave unit in. This is how you strap it down or wedge it in. You know, I went through it. And her whole thing was, my trainer just wanted me to drive. He just told me to drive. I asked her, said, did you ask him questions? Well, no. Did you ever stand at the pump when he fueled? Well, I had to use the bathroom. He was done by the time I got back. Okay. Did you ever get out of the truck and help hook up? No. Said, he never asked me to. I said, you're the trainee. You're the one who messed up your training. You didn't ask. If you ask and that trainer's not, just sit here, I'll do it. You know, well, how do I put it in the paperwork? Oh, I've already done it. If he's that kind of trainer, he's just there to get the extra money. Okay, he's not interested in training you. Call your fleet manager, get a different trainer. If you're the one sitting there and you haven't asked questions, like I've said before, like I'll say again, you're the one doing yourself a disservice. You're the one not willing to be trained. You need to ask questions. Like I said, a lot of these trainers are burned out on being yelled at just because they told you, hey, you need to use your Jake brake. I know what I'm doing. You know, they're tired of it. And there are some trainers like Terry. I love Terry, man. I love watching your videos. I do. You and No Hippie, Lyle at No Hippie, but Terry at Tim Travels. He's kicked several people out. One of them recently for he told me, hey man, you know, I'm a lease op. I really need the fuel savings. Don't drive over 60. And he caught the guy several times driving over 60, and he would tell Terry, I know what I'm doing. You know what? It's not your truck. It's his truck. He wants you to drive 60, drive 60. He wants you to drive 55, drive 55. So Terry went back to Springfield, dropped him off. I would do the same. I have done it in the 90s when I drove for England. You don't want to listen to me? It's my truck. It's my home away from home. My house you're in. I'll drop your butt back off at the terminal. I won't even let you drive to the terminal. You know? So, guys in training, if you're watching this, please, please, please do yourself a service and ask questions. Always be full of questions. You're here to learn. And as Terry said in a video he just posted a few hours ago, you know, is you need to be active in your training. And Prime is hiring so few drivers right now. They're being so picky about it. On paper, you squeak by this other guy. You owe it to the other guy who didn't get in to do a good job and learn. Ask questions. Absorb it. Yes, it's 50,000 miles. Yes, it's a long time. Yes, it's about 2.5 months. Yes, I know. I agree with 90% of what people are going to say or think. But you need to actively learn. You need to actively, holding this steering wheel and driving down the road is a small fraction of the job. Small fraction. Okay? There's paperwork, there's hooking, there's seals, there's cleaning out the trailer. There is so much involved with this job other than just holding the steering wheel and driving 5,000 miles down the road towards your next delivery. You know, pay yourself a service by learning. Okay guys, well, as always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know whenever I post a new video. Hopefully the video is going to start getting a lot more lively, and we're going to talk about different things. Later on tonight, I'm going to try to do a little tour of my home away from home here, and get a couple other things accomplished. Those of you that also watch me on Instagram, I'm going to release another spam call. What I do with spam callers. This one I've only done a few times. Y'all are going to want to see it, and I'll explain why I've only done it a few times. And And so y'all have a great day. And as always, keep the shiny side up, the rubber side down, and your mirrors between the ditches. We'll catch you later.